Imagine a star, not in the vast emptiness of space, but here on Earth. A celestial body, with all its unimaginable power, suddenly manifesting in our world. A star that burns not with the gentle warmth of our sun, but with the searing heat of 1,000,000 suns, unleashed in a single, terrifying instant. The sheer intensity of such an event is beyond comprehension, a force of nature that defies our understanding. This was Chernobyl, a disaster that redefined our understanding of nuclear power and left an indelible mark on the planet and its people. The name Chernobyl has since become synonymous with catastrophe, a stark reminder of the potential dangers lurking within our pursuit of energy. On April 26, 1986, the world watched in horror as reactor number 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant near the city of Pripyat in Soviet Ukraine became the site of the world's worst nuclear accident. The explosion was not just a physical event, but a moment that shattered the illusion of safety surrounding nuclear energy. It was a catastrophe born from a flawed system, human error, and a disregard for the immense power contained within the heart of the atom. The combination of these factors created a perfect storm, leading to an event that would change the course of history. The explosion and subsequent fire released massive amounts of radioactive material into the atmosphere, contaminating vast areas of what is now Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia. The invisible enemy, radiation, spread silently, affecting everything in its path. It was a stark reminder of the destructive potential of nuclear energy when safety protocols are ignored and the consequences of such negligence. The immediate aftermath saw a desperate scramble to contain the damage, but the long-term effects were only beginning to unfold. The Chernobyl disaster was not just a local tragedy. Its impact reverberated across the globe, forcing the world to confront the very real dangers of nuclear technology and the long-lasting consequences of radiation exposure. The disaster prompted a re-evaluation of nuclear safety standards worldwide, leading to changes in policy and practice that continue to shape the industry today. Nations around the world responded with a mix of fear and determination, seeking to understand the full scope of the disaster and to prevent such an event from ever happening again. The legacy of Chernobyl is a complex tapestry of human resilience, scientific inquiry, and the ongoing struggle to balance the benefits and risks of nuclear power. Today, Chernobyl stands as a haunting reminder of the past, a place where nature is slowly reclaiming the land, but the scars of the disaster remain. It serves as a powerful symbol of the need for vigilance, responsibility, and respect for the forces we seek to harness. The city of Pripyat was once a model Soviet city, a symbol of progress and prosperity. Nestled in the northern part of Ukraine, it was a shining example of Soviet urban planning and ambition. Built in the 1970s to house the families of those working at the nearby Chernobyl nuclear power plant, it was a place of hope and ambition. The city was meticulously planned, with wide boulevards, modern apartment blocks, and lush parks. Children played in the shadow of the towering cooling towers, oblivious to the silent danger lurking within. They laughed and ran through the streets, their lives seemingly untouched by the complexities of the adult world. Life in Pripyat was intertwined with the power plant. The plant was not just a workplace. It was the heartbeat of the city, influencing every aspect of daily life. The plant provided jobs, electricity, and a sense of pride. Workers felt a deep connection to their work, knowing they were contributing to the nation's energy needs. It was a source of national prestige, a testament to the Soviet Union's technological prowess. The plant stood as a monument to human ingenuity and the promise of a bright future. Few could have imagined that this symbol of progress would soon become synonymous with disaster. The bustling streets and vibrant community would soon be overshadowed by an unprecedented catastrophe. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant itself was a vast complex, home to 4 RBMK-1000 reactors. These reactors were among the most powerful in the world at the time. These reactors were a source of national pride, but they were also known to have design flaws. The RBMK-1000 reactors had a positive void coefficient, which could lead to dangerous power surges. Despite warnings from some engineers, these flaws were largely ignored. The pressure to meet energy production targets often overshadowed safety concerns. In the years leading up to the disaster, there were several near misses and safety violations at the plant. These incidents were red flags, but they were not enough to prompt significant changes. These incidents were often hushed up, a culture of secrecy preventing vital information from reaching those who needed it most. The Soviet regime's emphasis on maintaining a facade of infallibility meant that admitting to flaws was not an option. The stage was set for a catastrophe. The combination of flawed reactor design, ignored warnings, and a culture of secrecy created a perfect storm, one that would soon unleash unimaginable devastation. On April 25, 1986, a routine safety test was scheduled at reactor number 4 of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine, then part of the Soviet Union. The test was intended to simulate a power failure and assess the reactor's ability to cool itself down in the event of an emergency. This was a critical procedure designed to ensure the safety and reliability of the reactor under adverse conditions. However, due to a combination of design flaws in the reactor and a series of human errors, the test went tragically wrong. The operators were not fully aware of the reactor's design limitations and the potential risks involved. During the test, several safety systems were deliberately disabled, a common practice at the time that was later deemed highly irresponsible. This included disabling the emergency core cooling system, which was supposed to prevent the reactor from overheating. As the reactor's power output was being reduced, a design flaw in the RBMK-1000 reactor caused an unexpected power surge. The reactor's instability at low power levels was a known issue, but it was not adequately addressed. The control rods, designed to slow down the nuclear reaction, were inserted too slowly due to another design flaw. These rods had graphite tips, which initially increased the reaction rate instead of decreasing it. This delay proved fatal, as the surge in power could no longer be controlled. The operators were unable to regain control of the reactor, and the situation quickly spiraled out of control. The reactor was pushed beyond its limits, leading to a catastrophic chain reaction. The intense heat generated by the uncontrolled reaction caused the fuel rods to rupture and the reactor core to disintegrate. The core of the reactor overheated, causing a massive steam explosion that ripped apart the reactor building. The explosion was so powerful that it blew off the heavy steel and concrete lid of the reactor. A second explosion followed, scattering radioactive debris into the atmosphere. This explosion was caused by the buildup of hydrogen gas, which ignited and caused further destruction. The world watched in disbelief as a plume of radioactive smoke billowed into the sky, carrying with it the invisible specter of radiation. The immediate area was heavily contaminated, and the radioactive cloud spread across Europe, affecting millions of people. Section 4. The night the world changed. The explosion at Chernobyl was not a Hollywood-style mushroom cloud. It was a slow, insidious release of invisible poison into the air, water, and soil. The residents of Pripyat, many of whom had witnessed the eerie blue glow emanating from the power plant, were initially told that the situation was under control. Firefighters, unaware of the invisible danger they faced, rushed to the scene. They fought bravely to extinguish the blaze, their heroic efforts unknowingly exposing them to lethal doses of radiation. These first responders, along with the plant workers, would become the first and most immediate victims of the disaster. As the true extent of the disaster became apparent, the Soviet authorities were slow to react. Evacuation orders were not issued until 36 hours after the explosion, a delay that would have devastating consequences for the health of those exposed. When the evacuation order finally came, it was swift and chaotic. Residents were told to pack only what they could carry, believing they would return in a few days. Little did they know that they would never set foot in their homes again. Section 5. A city abandoned. A ghost town remains. The evacuation of Pripyat was a somber exodus. Over 50,000 people were forced to leave their homes, their lives upended in a matter of hours. They left behind their possessions, their memories, and a city that would forever be frozen in time. Today, Pripyat stands as a haunting reminder of the Chernobyl disaster. Buildings stand empty, their windows shattered, their interiors decaying. Toys lie scattered on the floors of abandoned kindergartens, a poignant symbol of the lives interrupted. The Ferris wheel, once a source of joy and laughter, now stands motionless against the skyline, a rusting reminder of a happier time. The city is slowly being reclaimed by nature, trees and vegetation pushing their way through cracks in the pavement, but the invisible threat of radiation lingers. Pripyat is a ghost town, a chilling testament to the enduring legacy of Chernobyl. It is a place where time seems to have stopped, a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of nuclear disaster.